Hello guys, welcome to another one of Varunski's Takes, videos about Tesla Model 3, its attributes and its problems, and just generally things about the Model 3 that you guys may find interesting. So this video will be somewhat of a predicament that one may find themselves, especially if you are a Model 3 owner. From time to time, it's a predicament that you may find yourself in, and that predicament is range anxiety. So today, I am on a mission to reach my house, and I have around 6.9 miles to go with 7 miles of battery. Now, some of you may be aware that, when on the gauge it says, well, maybe gauge is not the proper word, but when it says on your screen, for example, 150 miles remaining, for our fellow Model 3 owners, we would all know that unless you are driving at 100% efficiency, and I would kind of equivalent of that, a good way to measure 100% efficiency would be around 210 watt hours per mile driving. So that's around the ballpark. So if you can manage that watt hours per mile, then in fact you will actually get the amount of miles it says on your screen. No problems. But as we all know, there are other factors such as the AC, which is a magnet of consumption of the battery. And I mean, if I had to pinpoint one problem that I've had during my tenure as owning the Model 3, and I'm 36,500 miles into this car, in a span of, I got my delivery on February the 19th, 2019, sorry, so that would be making it 17 months now. So yeah, I drive quite a bit. So, for those of you who don't know, there was a time period, a little time span between, I would say, January of 2019 and March of 2019 when Tesla offered an option of a mid-range vehicle. And what a mid-range was a 63 kilowatt or 62 kilowatt hour battery. That's what it came equipped with. So somewhat in the middle of a standard range and the long range as it was offered that time. So for me, it kind of made sense, for me it didn't really make sense to get the 320 mile version. I just didn't think the extra $10 or $12,000 would be, I just didn't think it was worth it for me. So I elected to go for the mid-range, and good thing about the mid-range, during its short existence, it's no longer offered, was that, okay, you got 265 miles of battery, which was, at that time, 40 miles more than the standard range that was offered. So that's a significant jump. The other thing it also came with was enhanced autopilot, which includes everything you have if you buy the full self-driving function, if you were to go online and buy a Tesla now. But again, that's not an option that's available any longer. So I mean, price-wise, for the select few people that did go for the mid-range, it did end up coming to bite us in the ass. Because what Tesla did after that, and I'm going to put myself into autopilot just so, I do have my phone in my hand, and to be safe, as safe as the autopilot is, of course. So, financially, it was not the most ideal choice, and I will show you the map here. I'm on chill mode, 6 miles of range left, 3.3, so, let's make things interesting. I'm gonna get off the chill mode. So, what you're gonna do is go on driving, change chill to standard. You don't get the track mode in the mid-range. Thanks to the software updates, you do get around 4.7 miles, 0 to 60 in 4.7 miles versus the 0 to 60 in 5.6 miles when I originally bought it. And I've always said that, the longer that you do own this car, the better that it gets, except for the range. So remember that 265 miles that was promised to me when I bought the car? Well, 36,000 miles of driving it. Now, if I charge my car at 100%, I know it is not a calibration issue. I'm getting 241 miles. Just to put that into perspective, if you go in the internet now and look at the options available, Standard Range Plus, you can buy for 250 miles. Around that time, I coughed up maybe 12 or 13,000 more for the mid-range. And it did come with a couple of additional specs. I think it did come with the premium interior included. All in all, I still paid $56,000 for the car. So I put it into standard range now. I'm going to put the steering wheel into sport. Not that it'll have any impact on the range. But now I'm down to 4 miles of range. And I'm just going to put the pedal to the metal just a bit. And let's try to make it interesting here. And, let's just see. Let's just see what happens if it actually goes down to 0 miles. I have 3.6 miles left. And let's just see if the car actually can drive at all if it does reach 0 miles. So this is a little bit of an experimentation, because as time does move on, the 241 mile maximum range that I am getting will keep on getting lesser, fewer and fewer with time. That is just battery degradation. I have somewhat of a hope that on battery day, whenever that comes, September 30th, I don't know what the speculation is out there, but what it actually means in terms of the upgrade to the battery system and the battery manufacturing that the Tesla has. But I'm holding on to dear life for a slight software update, or perhaps even a hardware update, or any type of compensation for these, for people like us who got fucked in the ass for buying the mid-range. Because the really frustrating thing, is, if you go online now, you can get the Model 3 Performance long range for around $2,000 more than what I paid for the mid-range. I think it's great that Tesla keeps cutting down on prices. I can't think of another car company that does that. Can you guys think of any car companies that look like this? No. This is Tesla, and I fucking love this car. This video is about range. And something needs to be done for us, our select group of unlucky fellows who went for the mid-range option when it was offered briefly. And I just don't think it's fair to us. And I find myself in these type of situations again and again and again, and
in 500 feet, turn right onto Marcus Avenue.
There was a situation a couple of months ago, ladies and gentlemen, in which I had to drive 25 miles
Now turn right onto
to
Marcus
get
Avenue.
to a supercharger. I was quite far away from my house. To drive 25 miles, the next supercharger was around 39 miles or 40 miles away. Now, very easy to say here that I should have planned my trip out better. However, you would be wrong. Because what happened was, there was a supercharger before that where I had stopped, and at 25 miles of battery, that supercharger, which had 9 stalls, and none of them worked. The longer I waited, I didn't want any more degradation, any more reduction to the miles that I had left, and I knew the next supercharger was 40 miles away. Now, I don't want to be sound like I'm bragging here, but I don't know. Perhaps it was one of the greatest feats of efficient driving that probably, I don't know if you guys can post in the comment section if you've ever been in that situation. But I consider that, I mean, covering 40 miles of actual range, actual distance, with 25 miles of range that was on my screen, I was fully prepared for the car to just die out. Like, even with all the regen, I had my blinkers on. I mean, I put my hazards on. I was going around 20 to 25 miles an hour, and I mean, it was a little bit of taking advantage of uphill and downhill scenarios, and when there was an uphill curve, I had no choice but to reduce the speed to speeds of 5, 6, 7 on an interstate. Had to be done. Because it was 4 a.m. in the morning, and I really didn't feel like going through the whole Tesla, come get help, come get me help, roadside assistance, because, that takes, because I did that before, not for this particular situation, but I had a tire thing, and I had a tire deflation, and it took me 2 hours, and I was just not in that mood at that time, so I decided to go for it, and I was able to drive a good 3 miles when it said 0 miles of battery. Hopefully this is something that Tesla is doing just kind of as a safe side thing. Like how in ICE cars it says, in the gauge you can see that the fuel is close to 0, but somehow the car is able to drive a little. So I was able to cover, when my car did reach 0, I had managed to cover 37 miles with 3 miles remaining. And to add to that anxiety, I had no idea whether the next supercharging station would work either. Because, it's supposed to say on the screen when you are electing to choose a supercharger whether there's any malfunctions or if there is any availability. And according to the screen, it said the supercharger was completely fine, the one I had gone to previously. So there was the anxiety of, well, what if the next one doesn't work? What if it's a problem with my charger, or rather my charging port? There was that anxiety. But my God, I'm an atheist, but I don't know. I made it.
500 feet.
And it was quite an accomplishment. And looks like I'm gonna be able to make it here, guys.
Now turn left onto
But
Lane.
for people who do drive, like I said, I've covered 36,500 miles. only in a
In
span of
500 feet, your
17
destination
months.
will be on the left.
I'm at 1 mile of range.
Now your
and
destination
it's
is
a
on the left.
situation that keeps on happening and happening, and it sucks. I really wish Tesla would come up with a software update. I have reached my house, so yay to me. Compared to that story that I just told you, this is